Hello everybody, how we doing? Have we recovered from the weekend? Taking time to digest some of the interesting news that took over happened at Comic Con. Well, as you know, my biggest surprise was clearly what Zack Snyder dropped on Saturday at Comic Con, and well, there's still conversation still going. The hype is still there. The hysteria is all over the place. Fans are divided. Some are happy, some are not, some are in between. But I'm just going to quickly sort of delve in a bit further with what's occurred. SupermanHomepage.com has actually written an article where they've actually given you the full paragraph of everything, well, the full statement of what occurred at the during the announcement from Zack. There are highlights. There's certain bits that have been highlighted to give you an idea of what Zack is meaning from this sequel that they're going to make, and also that's going to include Batman. I'm not going to read everything, but we'll post a link below. There's about 60 odd comments on there already. It's huge. As I say, some are divided, and some are in the middle. Some are not happy. Some are happy. After I've had some time to digest it, I have to admit that I'm still overwhelmed that this has been announced. I'm still looking forward to what could possibly be something of an epic, with an awesome, proportion of a movie, and obviously superhero movie, comic book movie as well. But I want to focus more on the quote that was read out by Harry Lennix. Now, while it is a direct quote from The Dark Knight Returns, as Zack actually says, he says it that we are not adapting this thing, but it will help you. Okay, that clearly states that they're not adapting The Dark Knight Returns. Maybe a small element of it, as in perhaps that quote will be used to some context in the movie, in the sequel. Now, as I finished work today, I was coming home on the bus, and I kept rattling this quote over and over in my head, and I was like thinking, what if, just what if the quote isn't read or said or spoken by Bruce Wayne Batman? It is instead spoken by Lex Luthor. What if there's going to be a certain time in the movie, a crunch time, where Superman is all but defeated by Lex, and he says this particular quote, as opposed to saying Clark or Superman, he uses the word alien. Because we know how he loves the fact that he does not see Superman as, well, a man. As far as he's concerned, it's an alien. It's not human. It's not a man. It's an alien. He can emphasize on that. He can use that quote to a certain degree, to say something like, I want you to remember the man who beat you. And it could well be that Lex is the one that says that. Okay? Because we saw in Man of Steel itself, there was all sorts of hints to LexCorp. It was all there. Then obviously you had the Wayne Enterprises satellite as well. So the DC universe is open. For me personally, when I want this film to come out, or when we get some information of what it's going to be included, what's going to be involved, Superman and Batman, if they do meet, and when they do meet in this movie, I want it to, I want Batman to probably have at least, maximum of around 20 minutes of screen time. Okay, Superman's character, Henry Cavill's character will still get developed, because it's still going to be, he's still going to be reeling over what happened with Zod. He's got to take time to digest all of that. He's got to realise how that's going to impact him as a character, as a person, going forward. How's that going to change him? It's going to change him immensely. Another aspect of having Batman in the film is, as Bruce Wayne, he can help in some ways cover for Clark. And when I mean cover, I mean in the sense of what Lois might not have been able to have done in Man of Steel, in that people who might start getting suspicious of who Superman actually is, Bruce is able to wipe certain, you know, cover tracks and whatnot. That could be used in there. Who knows? Wayne Enterprises going into business with LexCorp. There could be a merger there. They could help each other. Lex and Bruce are in business together. You know, I was watching World's Finest last night, and then straight after that I watched The Dark Knight Returns Part 2, and just afterwards I just got this epically awesome sense of emotion just came right over me, because I'm watching these two animated films and I'm thinking to myself, I can't, you know, it's still hard for me to process that there's going to be a live action film with these two characters in it. And where I think they're going to fit some of the storyline, I think they will borrow, hopefully, from Public Enemies, and as I say, the snippet of that quote from Dark Knight Returns, and there's a few other sources they can use. I've read some comments of people saying that there was a John Byrne story that the Batman featured in with Superman. You know, as I say, people are on the opposite side where they're not happy about it, because in many ways, yes, and I will agree with this, that Warners think that, you know, Superman can't hold his own in terms of a movie. Well, if that was the case, Man of Steel would not have been made. If they felt that Superman as a singular franchise property would not do well on its own, then they wouldn't have gone ahead with Man of Steel. You know, we remember what happened with Superman Returns, Superman 3 and Superman 4 before that. And it's not to say that just because Batman has had his trilogy from Nolan, well, that's for the Batman fans, yes, but also for movie fans as a whole. Okay, remember that they're catering for the wider audience, not just for us geeks, because if that was the case, they would not make that much money. Warners are in business, and their properties, you know, Superman and Batman, two of their biggest characters out there, two of the biggest name brands, you know, in the world, they want to put them together, they want to get people excited, and I'm sure they're seeing, or maybe not seeing, the hype that's already been caused from what Zack Snyder told everybody on Saturday. So yes, as a Superman fan, I am slightly disappointed that they're going to bring Batman in, but I'm also excited as a DC Comics fan, because damn, I wouldn't, you know, I thought till the day I die I would never actually see it happen. But it still opens up the way for still allowing Superman to have his own movies after the sequel, and then obviously Justice League. You know, I'm not saying that they should follow the same formula as Marvel, but look at what Marvel did. Iron Man was made, and Nick Fury appears at the end after the credits. Incredible Hulk gets made. Tony Stark appears at the end. Then Iron Man 2 comes out. Nick Fury and Black Widow play a more, you know, active role in that film. Then Thor is out. Clark Gregg's Agent Coulson is featured heavily in that. There are hints to other parts of you. I mean, Thor was more in parts with had a bit of a. There was some elements to Captain America in there, and in Captain America itself, well, we know that was done in the 40s and then got pushed forward, but again, that had links to Iron Man with Howard Stark as well. So there was all those links, interconnections with Marvel. So therefore, they already had their universe all put together. So, you know, Iron Man had his first movie, Incredible Hulk came out, then Iron Man 2 featuring Black Widow and Nick Fury. You know, I don't see this as too much of a problem. You know, the positive you've got to look at is that A, it's going to open the way for Justice League. B, yes, it will give Batman another exposure. We still don't know who's going to play the character, but I'll get to that in a moment, by the way. But at the same time, it still will develop Superman at the same time. The character will still be developed, you know, as I've already mentioned earlier. But casting wise, now this is interesting, and someone who follows me on Twitter actually mentioned this, and he basically said that he completely forgot that both Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer, who's in the Lone Ranger, are both going to appear in the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie. Now, we all remember that Armie was already going to play Batman in the, you know, the project that was supposed to have kicked off back in 2007 of the Justice League movie, which totally got defunct. He was in line to play Batman back then. Could he play him now? Remains to be seen. If, say, everybody goes to see The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and there's that strong connection between Henry and Armie, who knows? Who knows? You know, I'm not going to rule out Armie Hammer to play Batman. I know that Lone Ranger hasn't done well in America. It has totally bombed over there. It's not out here till next month, so I will go and see it, and I'll, you know, try and see how Armie, you know, operates as the Lone Ranger. I know a lot of people, as I say, all the big Lone Ranger fans weren't happy with the movie itself. Okay, everyone does have their opinion, but as I say, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'll be interested to see how it all turns out for Armie. So yeah, I mean, we know now that Amy Adams, Lawrence Fishburne, and Diane Lane will return. It'll be interesting to see what other characters come in. Seen people saying that they want Brainiac, Doomsday, and Bizarro. Again, too soon for those characters. I still think Lex Luthor and possibly John Corbin would be your two best bets. And the reason I say that is because of Public Enemies. I think Public Enemies will probably be the perfect sort of storyline to borrow from. Not all of it, just some of it. Use elements like Lex Luthor. We don't know how Kryptonite's going to come into it again, but again, it'd be interesting to see that. If there is a point of where Superman and Batman have a face-off, okay, because in some sense that is possible, that could happen. If they do have a face-off, don't make it overtake or be the focus of the film. Probably about maybe 5-10 minutes maximum of them having a little bit of a confrontation of some sort, but don't let it be the focus. Let them have their differences. We know that they've got their differences, but at the same time, there's a reason why Batman's dark, Superman is all about light. Use that if you can, to some extent. Show the differences between the characters. We know that there's differences, but it has to be highlighted. It's got to have a certain balance. There's got to be that balance between the two of them, because if you don't have that balance, oh my God, it's going to be screwed. And that's where I keep saying, please, Warners, do not screw it up. So there are so many angles to this, to the sequel, even with the logo being revealed. Now here's the interesting thing about the logo. Whilst the logo has been revealed, is that going to be used in the film? Is it going to be the case of that logo will appear at the end of the film? Because let's say they're doing all their promotions and their marketing, should they use the Batman logo included with the Man of Steel logo? I don't think they should, because what you want to do is, yes, you're going to hype it up that Batman's going to be in a movie. Probably a bad idea in some sense, or in most sense, because obviously it's supposed to be a Man of Steel sequel. Hype it up, yes, but make it focused solely on Superman until like the last sort of half an hour, 20 minutes of the film, and then at the very end of the credits, boom, show the Batman logo behind the Superman logo. Job done. And then, as I say, apparently, as I say, it's still rumoured, not confirmed, Flash is coming out in 2016, then you've got Justice League. I'm still disappointed that Wonder Woman was not announced, but again, that could happen after Justice League. From Justice League onwards, you will then have Wonder Woman, possibly, hopefully, Aquaman. You know, Green Lantern will probably get another shot. And then another sequel for Man of Steel. There's so many ways that they can open the universe, and they just need to play their cards right. I know that many Superman and Man of Steel fans are very, very not happy with the news, with the announcement, but let's just open our minds for a bit. Open the minds for a bit and just try and realise that, yes, it is money making for Warners, but it's also for the wider audience. We're not the wider audience. We're a select few of hardcore fans who know our characters inside out, who know what should happen in terms of developing a character and writing for a story for the character and just portraying them on screen and all that sort of stuff. We have that creative ability and stuff. We know what should happen, but the suits, it's a different story. Again, I don't know whose idea it was to bring Batman into the film. Was it Zack's? Was it Goya's? Was it Warner's as a whole? I'm still in the mind that maybe it was Warner's, for them to say, look, just get him on there. Just however you can do it, get him on there, tease them, let them go wild. That's exactly what's happened. So I don't want to speculate too much, because I want to wait to hear A, who's going to be cast as Batman, B, what is the synopsis going to be, and C, well, I just want to be surprised, basically. We still don't know exactly when in 2015 during the summer the film's going to come out. If it's going to come out late July, I'm going to Comic-Con in 2015. If it's going to come out in June, you know, we still don't know when it's going to actually be released. But if production's going to start early 2014, they've got the whole of 2014 to get everything sorted, to get it filmed and brushed up, sort out the effects. And then, if anything, I think they've timed it right. The timing for the sequel is perfect, because it's 2 years from now. Between now and December, get the casting right, the script, because the script is still being written, as Zach did say on Saturday. It doesn't exist, it's still being written, the story is still being written between him and Goya, and then Goya's going to do the screenplay. You know, they've got until between now and, as I say, end of the year, and then start pre-production, shoot, all that sort of stuff. And then who knows what we can get from Man of Steel with the likes of Faora, you know, Emil Hamilton. We still don't know where the hell he's disappeared to. You know, and then obviously, as I said, Zod's disused suit, his armour that he left lying around, the spaceship. There's still so much more to explore. I still think that Bruce Wayne Batman will be more in the background, but will still have some sort of, you know, input in terms of letting Superman do his own thing, kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, I think I've rambled long enough. So, as I say, so much happening. We still don't know what is fully happening behind the scenes at Warner's, and what Zack and co are going to be coming up with. We can speculate as much as we want, but I still think, going back to what I said at the beginning, that the quotes that Harry Lennox read out, whilst it is from The Dark Knight Returns, will probably be used in some context from Lex to Superman. And I think that would just be sweet. Think about it. Just think for a second. Just visualize it in your mind this very moment. Superman pretty much almost crippled to some extent. However Lex is going to do that. And he starts reading, and he starts saying that line. You know, my hand around your throat, so I'm the, you know, remember that I'm the one who beat you. Yeah. Whether Batman comes in at to do something after that, I don't know, but yeah, who knows? Just who knows? The world is their oyster. They've just really got to plant the seeds properly. Plant those seeds. They've got a gold mine. Let's just see how it goes. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. See you all soon. Bye.